Guys, welcome back to Boots and Bounty Homestead, and we're back in Casey's kitchen today, and I'm going to bring you a recipe, or should I say instructions, on how to make your own homemade tortilla chips. Now this way you can choose either white or wheat, whole grain, flaxseed, whatever your little heart desires that pertains to your diet. You get to choose what tortilla chips you make. You can control the salt, you can control the flavor, and you can control the fat intake that is going to be in your chips. So to get started, I'm going to show you that I'm going to use tortilla shells, and they have the low carb tortilla shells. They have whole wheat, they have the regular flour, white flour, they have flaxseed, they have spinach wraps, they have tortilla, the tomato and basil wraps, all kinds of tortillas. And this way you can customize your own tortilla chips. So I'm going to give you the basic instructions on how to turn tortillas into tortilla chips. And that way you can go out and make your own recipe and explore what kind of options you can have in your kitchen. So to get started, we need to go ahead and cut our oven on to 400 degrees. All right, 400 degrees. Now you can use whatever fat you want. Now my choice is olive oil. That's what I use for anything other than like my frying that I want to use lard for. So my choice is olive oil. You can use avocado oil, you can use sunflower, peanut, canola, vegetable, whatever you got. You can use that. And this is going to go on the outside of the tortillas. And then for just a basic chip, just a tortilla chip, I'm going to use pink Himalayan salt. This is just to get you started, and then from here you can flavor your chips however you want to. You can do taco seasonings, you can do tahini, which will give you that lime flavor. You can do ranch, you can do whatever you want to with these chips. You can do salt and pepper, you can do whatever you want to. But I'm just going to do plain salt. This is just a basic recipe for you guys. And then you can go out and explore the options and build your own favorite tortilla chip. So let me show you how to do this real quick to get started. So for this step, we're going to need a pizza cutter or a scissors or a knife or one of those big rolling pizza cutters, whatever you want to cut them. So we're going to take our wraps. Let me go ahead and open this. And the one I'm using I got from Sam's, because our diet that we are currently doing calls for a lot of whole wheat. And this is whole grain and flaxseed tortilla wraps. So it has a lot of protein and a lot of omega-3 fatty acids in it. Alright, so we're going to start. I've got a few outs just so I can keep going. But we're going to start with the fat or the oil. Just drizzle a little bit on there. Now you can take your hand and rub, or you can use one of these basting brushes, however you want to do it. Spread it out all over. And this is going to get a little messy unless you want to put something down. Alright, and then from here I'm going to go ahead and season it. And I like pink Himalayan salt because it's not as bad on my heart. And then we're going to take this one and flip it over. And this is what I said, you might want to put something down. But since mine is on my cutting board, that'll be fine for me. We're just going to keep doing this until we get all of them done that we want to go ahead and get done. And you can make these up for the next couple of weeks. You don't have to do it one at a time. You can store these in a bag for later. And a little bit of salt. And then all I'm going to do is, since this already has oil on it, I'm going to lay this one on top and smash it down. And it's going to share that oil and that salt. And just keep going. Spread it out all the way to the edges, all the way around. Life goes on. More sugar dryer or not. I still gotta eat with clean clothes. Okay, once you get to the end, and I'm going to stop it for just demonstration purposes, you want to make sure you hold them as you cut them, because they'll kind of move and shift, you know, because they're slick. And I'm going to push down in the middle just to give me a kind of a starting point, and then cut them in half the best you can. These ain't going to be perfect. They're going to be edible. Now, depending on how many you got stacked, you may or may not can do this step. And I may or may not can do this step. But I like to fold them in half. And here's where the mindset sits in, okay? So for the nutritional facts for your tortilla, depending on how many of these chips you can eat, okay, in your diet. So, you can sit down with the whole bag and just eat and eat and eat, not even, you know, not even worry about the nutritional facts. But this is where you've got to think about, do I want bigger chips or do I want more chips? Okay? That being, you can cut this into 8s and get more chips. Or you can cut it into 6 and get bigger chips. That being said, just remember how many you are cutting your tortilla shell in, and that's going to be your 1 tortilla shell serving. Okay, don't forget that. If you cut it into 6, 6 chips is your serving. If you cut it into 8, 8 chips is your serving. Okay, I'm gonna make 8 because I like to eat. You know, it's kind of like that funny saying with the pizza. You know, is it 8 slices or 12 slices? If you don't know what I mean, it's all over Facebook. You know, what's the difference between a pizza that's cut into 8 slices and 12 slices, and how many you eat and all this mess? It's the same size pizza, different number of slices. And you can cut these even smaller if you want. It depends on the size tortilla you have too. If you have the big burrito ones, you might want to make more chips. If you've got the smaller ones, you might want to make less chips, you know, or bigger chips. So you just got to remember how many you're cutting, okay? So we've got 8 chips in a serving for this one that I've done. Now from here, we're going to put them on a cookie sheet. Since they've already got oil on them, we don't have to spray it. And we're just going to lay these out. I'm going to use my big Mama Jama one over here. We're going to lay these out. And let me show you what I like to do. Alright, so this is what I like to do. I like to lay them like this, so they fit more on here. But you can do it however you want. Alright, I do have a few left over, so that'll be in the next batch. But here are my tortillas. These are going to be the chips. And you don't technically have to worry about flipping these over or anything. Mine tend to brown evenly, but just make sure that you don't have your rack too low in the oven or it'll burn the bottom. So make sure you have your rack in the middle, so that way it has even temperature on top and bottom. And then you're just going to have to watch these. Every pan is different, every stove is different, every tortilla and oil and seasoning is going to be different for whatever you make. So you've got to watch them and once you try them, once you burn a couple, once you get a few underdone, you'll figure out how you like your chips. I like mine to be halfway to burnt, but not completely burnt. I like them to be crispy, but not burnt. I don't like them floppy and not done. So you've got to figure out how you like your chips. These are not going to be like chips out of the bag, crunchy. These are going to have a soft crunch, not a very hard crunch. So let's get these in the oven, and I'll show you kind of how I like mine and about the time frame it takes. Okay, so it's been right at 5 minutes. And I can tell they're done. Alright, so these are going to cook a little bit more if you pull them out. But you want to watch, and as they start looking kind of dry, like the oil is disappearing off of them, that's going to be when you really need to watch them, because they will burn just like that. Now, they're still very hot. But these are probably a little more done than I would eat, but I am going to eat them. And just watch them and try to figure out how you like yours. Now, as you can also see, around the edges is where I didn't have a whole lot of oil. So if I would have actually gotten it further to the edges more evenly than I did just the middle, these wouldn't have gotten as brown on the outside. So live and learn, but these are how you make chips, your own homemade tortilla chips. So as these start to cool off, I will show you how crispy they are. Cool it off just a little bit. Okay. It's kind of like a maybe like a pita bread, or that's like an unleavened bread. Is that kind of like what it is? But these are real crispy. Very crispy. We also need to go eat these with my black bean and corn salsa. That's what I'll be snacking on this week, because these are only 5 net carbs and 8 grams of protein. So I can eat 8 of these and an unlimited amount of my black bean and corn salsa on the diet I'm on. So go make your own chips. I got a few more batches to make, so enjoy. And until next time, we'll see y'all later. Happy cooking. Bye-bye.